Now, this is a review that I've been putting off. It's of the 7S Superfish 4. Now, I've had these boards since the Superfish 2, and back when they came out, I think they came out in 2005. It was a WizSticks design, Garry Lovelace or something I read up online, and in 2005 he licensed the shape to Global Surf Industries, and it was at the time like people were dirty on these massive mass-produced boards that were made overseas. But I just remember on the northern beaches there was heaps of them. They were sort of smaller fishes, and you'd see some awesome surfing being done on them. And I can remember, I asked heaps of people who had one. They said, "Yeah, great board, great board, great board." And I saw some excellent surfing being done. And I got a Superfish 2, and I've had 4. I've had 2 8.0s and 2 7.6s, and transitioning from a longboard to a shortboard, there's no better surfboard. This board cops a lot of hate, but it's also received a lot of love, and it's one of the largest selling surfboards in the world. I think over 80,000 have been sold. And why I love it, it's a longboard in disguise. So when you're making that transition from longboards to shortboards, it's absolutely fantastic. And the dimensions are 8.0, 23 wide and 3 inches thick, giving you 64 litres of volume. So they're longboard dimensions. All they've done is really, removed a pintail and just brought in the nose a little bit. And it is awesome. I absolutely love them. Now, full disclosure, I was a little bit dirty on this company because I had one 7.6, and in 1 to 2 foot surf, like the first or second day I had it, and I've been a long time supporter of this board and brand, it snapped, and not just snapped, snapped and then buckled between the fins. And they helped me to a degree, but in Australia it has to be fit for purpose, and to get snapped in 1 to 2 foot surf at South Beach, it was just like, come on, And I brought one at wholesale price, so they helped me out a bit, but it was just a bit dirty, and it just left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Now, why I'm doing a review is credit where credit's due. I've always loved them, and I've loved it even more since going with the quads. I've only recently become a fan of quads, and riding this as a quad, it's absolutely awesome. Now, this is a big board, and it requires big fins, so you don't have that sort of 2+1 option, or the 1+2, whatever they call it, with a centre fin. But what I've done is put MRs, the 2+1, and then I've put Performer medium rears in the back. Now, there is not a better board to transition from longboards to shortboards, and mate, I'm quite happy with where this is at, and it's got to fit in the quiver. So where it's good, this can perform in 1/2 foot and it can perform in 6 foot. If it gets, you want to have it slightly fatter surf, it'll handle everything, but I just find it's, if you're going too fast, there's a lot of board there. So, that's when, boards like the mid 6 and things like that sort of come into it. But on the rotation, I surf this more, and it's more versatile than any other board I have. As you can see, there's nothing too dramatic about it. I think it's a single to double concave. The rails are sort of a bit pinched in. It probably carries, if there was one fault, I'd probably take a little less out of the nose, so you've got a little less swing weight, and I'd probably thin out the tail a little bit. But it comes in at around 64 litres. I think this would be perfect if they do a Superfish 5. I hope they do a Superfish 5 and give it a stronger stringer. It's got a 6-4-6-4 glass job, so 6-4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, and just a stronger stringer. What's wrong with this nut? But yeah, absolutely fantastic board. The thing flies. Like, once this gets moving as the quad, this is the fastest I've ever been on a board, and just you can tell from just the sound and the feeling, you're just skipping over the water if you get it on the right wave. This has been probably one of the biggest selling surfboards in the world. They've sold over 80,000 of these, and the problem is the 7.6, right, that comes in at 55 litres, I think, and I just think the perfect literage for where I want this board to be in the quiver is at about 60 litres, because at 64 kilos, you're just on the edge of being able to duck dive this at 100 kilos. Like, you can't get deep enough sometimes, and if I want to ride them out, I'll ride them out. But if I want a shortboard, I want to be able to duck dive it, and I think at 100 kilos, this just needs to be around 60. Yeah, mate, the board is awesome. See if you can see that. Plenty of rocker in the nose, slight rocker throughout the board. Riding as a quad, it's really, it's woken this board up. It can turn so well, and just that fin setup of riding the twins and putting trailer rears in is absolutely awesome. What do you reckon, Grip Dane? Let's have a look. There you have it, the Superfish 7S, Superfish 4. Mate, they should celebrate this board for the Superfish 5. Call it the 7.5 or whatever, but just make it, glass it heavier and put a stronger stringer in it.